Aloha, my name is Lybbi. I was born on December 17th, 1952 in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I got into USAR, which is Urban Search and Rescue, back in 1998. So the way that I got into it, I always wanted to do search and rescue, and I had seen this fabulous article on the earthquake in Turkey many years ago, and one of our teams from Miami had gone over there with their search dogs, and I was just fascinated by the work that these dogs did, being able to go into the rubble and finding people that were trapped. And so from there I was like, oh, that's something I really, really want to do. But at the time I didn't have a dog, which you need to have, and I also was working 7 days a week. So I ended up, a friend of mine was at a disability expo, and she was telling me about these dogs that she saw there that belonged to Canine Companions for Independence. And these dogs were highly trained for people with disabilities. They knew how to open doors, turn lights off and on, pull wheelchairs, pick up stuff, carry things. So it was really, really neat. And you could take these dogs to work with you. They could go everywhere. So I was like, that's something I could do. And that's how I found Josh, my first search dog. I applied to raise a puppy, and he was my second dog that I raised. He was an awesome dog, but they didn't feel that he had the qualities for being a service dog because he was too environmentally aware. They were going to send him off to ATF to be a bomb dog, and I was like, no, 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 no. If he would make a good bomb dog, he'd make a good search dog. So I took him back, and we started training, and we got on the City of Miami, Florida Task Force 2, and teaching Josh how to be a search dog. One of the things that he had to do was get his Canine Good Citizenship Award, which showed that he was well behaved and that he could do different commands, and I didn't have to be right there with him all the time, that he could do them on his own, and that he wasn't going to run off or he wasn't going to be rowdy or disruptive or whatever. So he had to show that he was a very good boy, of which he passed with flying colors. Afterwards we went and got ice cream. Oh, that's what we did to celebrate them doing such a great job. Quite a number of us, probably at least 20 of us, taking the test, and so those of us who passed, we were so excited, and those who didn't, we worked with them and so that they could take the test again the next day and watch them pass. So the experience, and to help each other, because we all want each other to succeed and be great search dogs. So we all celebrated afterwards and went out to dinner and got the dog's steak. We did this demo for Pause for Applause, which benefited Canine Companions for Independence, and it was all about working dogs. So the police dogs were there, we were there. You see a picture of Josh climbing down the stairs, climbing down the ladder, of which we put the ladder upside down, so it made it even that much more difficult for him, and he did a great job. Anyway, I think that Katrina and Haiti were our most difficult missions. All the others they're all hurricanes, and we all had pretty much the same kind of damage. But Katrina, we had all the flooding because we were in Mississippi for the first 2 weeks, and then the second 2 weeks we ended up in New Orleans. So that was because of the flooding. We had to bring in military transport so that we could get around. It was difficult. There was no street signs, there was nothing, so we had to GPS every place that we searched, and we just had to GPS it all. And let's see, so that was hard. And plus we were there for a month, and it was like over 100 degrees every day, and so it was a lot of hard work. And then Haiti was very difficult. We were warned when we went in there not to do any night ops, which we didn't listen to. We did the first night we were there. We were pulling people out of buildings. So we had to get one woman out. She was trapped and we didn't have the equipment because we were in Haiti. The docs had to amputate her arm in order to be able to get her free from the debris, which she was so grateful. She was so, grateful to the guys for doing what they did, which was wonderful to see, that she wasn't mad. I mean, I'm sure it was horrible, but she was grateful. All of our team, we had and have the most wonderful team of guys and girls. We all worked together really hard, and as each day went on and all the stresses and all the challenges that we had to face, everybody was just so close and so wanting to help each other out and making sure everybody had whatever they needed. We all just looked out for each other and made sure that we were all safe and that nobody got hurt, because there was a lot of cutting concrete and doing all kinds of stuff to be able to get people out of these situations. So it was, and long hours. Most of the time we'd start off working 72-hour shift, and it was supposed to be like a 12-hour shift, but you can't just walk away when you're in the middle of trying to save somebody's life. You can't do that. So you had to be prepared and have a good attitude and, just go at it and, be willing to do whatever it takes to help these people. We have a handful of doctors that go with us. They're trauma doctors, and one of our trauma doctors, Patty, has always been with us on all deployments, and she just loves the dogs and she just looks out for us, and she's there for all the really, really difficult things, and she's always checking on us and making sure that we're all hydrated, and that if anybody gets hurt, she takes care of them. And so she's an amazing woman. She's a trauma doctor at Jackson Memorial in Miami, which is a rough hospital to work in. And anyway, she's been on the team well over 20 years. She was at 9/11, and and she loved Josh. She would always hang out with Josh. We could tell he was starting to slow down. The heat was getting to him, and it was getting time to keep a closer eye on him to see if he could handle continuing to do the work. And finally I made the decision it was time to retire him. That was a hard decision to make, because we had been partners and we were with each other all the time, 24/7, and not that he wasn't still going to be with me all the time, but we had a lot of fun doing the work together. So, but I was like, I got to come up with something for the two of us to do, because now I had a new dog. He was watching us go to training and he was feeling left out. So I decided to buy a surfboard, take him out and teach him how to surf, because there he was in the nice cool water and he loved to swim. I just thought it would be fun for the two of us to do together. That would be our thing next. So that's what we did. We went out and we went surfing, not big waves, just little waves, but he loved it. He thought it was a great thing to do. And then we brought some of his dog friends and he taught them how to do the same thing. He was very proud. And then that's how we kind of ended things. He started getting these tumors. He got mast cell cancer, which is a very aggressive, fast-moving cancer. And my vet is a good friend of mine. And he was like, oh my God. It's like, we got to get that thing out of there. So the next morning, we got to his office at like 7 in the morning. He started to do surgery, and I just was there to assist him, whatever. We couldn't get it out. It just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper, and he was like, I can't get it out. And so he said, I have 3 more weeks and that's it. So I took Josh to all his favorite places and made sure he ate all his favorite food, and made sure he had his ice cream and all his, parks, and he went and saw all of his buddies and said goodbye and went surfing for the last time.
To a point, I was good. Tried to do stuff that I should. Tried to do what you said. Tried to sleep in my own bed, but my bones wouldn't rest till I put me to my test. And I remembered what you said, that I could be great, so great.
I'd love to have every, more second with him, but I had to think of what was best for him and his comfort and his happiness, and so he was my best friend. So after Josh, I found Marley. A friend of mine had seen a video of him. He was in a shelter up in Des Moines, Iowa. And so a police officer had gotten him out to be a detection dog, then decided that he would probably make a better search dog. So I flew up there and got a chance to see him. I thought he was an awesome dog and brought him home the same day. We flew back to Florida, and that's when our training began. Here's a nice picture of Marley. This is his book, and he always makes these faces. But anyway, so we started our training. It only took him a year, 1 year to the day that I got him before we got fully certified. And so that was pretty incredible, because it usually takes about a year and a half. And we went and took our test and we passed. We worked really hard at everything, and he just did a fabulous job. That was a lot of fun. And then we also got to take him up in the helicopter. We went up with one other guy, and then as soon as we landed, he took off and ran to the rubble pile to do a search. Marley, we did the same thing, except for I couldn't hold on to him. He was so excited, and he took off after the New York guy, who was also a police officer and whose dog was a police dog. So I'm yelling at him like, "Joe, watch out, Marley's coming after you." So he's like, "Don't worry, it'll be fine." I'm like, "Okay," because I didn't know it being a police dog, and here's my dog coming after him if he was gonna go after him. But they were all good, and it was a lot of fun, and everybody had a great time. The dogs all felt very confident, being able to go up in the helicopter and then come down and go do searches. They weren't fazed by it at all, that's the whole point, is that they don't have any fear issues, they don't have any aggression issues. So we kind of covered those bases real quick. So after I got Marley and we did some of those events, it was my time to move out to Hawaii. I had been looking for years, and I finally found a place. I met Noel, our KSAR president, about 5 years ago when I had come out here. We went hiking. We hiked the Nepali coast together. I looked her up. Little did we know that I live right down the street from her. So I got with Noel and we started training. I started getting involved with KSAR. And at the time, they had not a lot of people on the team, but they were working on it and working on getting more dogs. It was really exciting to be able to throw in some ideas and some suggestions and be able to be a part of helping Noel to grow this team, of which it has turned into a fabulous team so far. We've got the most awesome people that are bringing the greatest talent between ropes, rappelling, medical, logistics, all of these different filming. We've got so much talent here, and all these people are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. Nobody gets paid for doing this kind of work. It's all volunteer. To go out and, for people to ask you to go out and find somebody, and you're trudging through all this buffalo grass and stuff that's so much taller than me, which it doesn't say much, but but it's just amazing, and it's a lot of hard work. This team is really turning into a great team. People they're like, oh, it's such a cool thing and it looks so cool, and being able to take your dog, and I'm like, that's no reason to be doing this. It's not about being cool, it's about being able to be there to help somebody. That's why you want to do this, you know. So, because I know they you know, I mean, it is a cool thing and you get a lot of attention, but I didn't know that when I got into it, and I wasn't doing it because of that, you know. I was doing it because I wanted to make a difference, save somebody's life if I could. You know, that's what we're here for, is to help people. To be in this profession, I think the one thing that's really important is that people realize it is a privilege and an honor to be able to have people trust you with their families, or their loved ones' well-being. You know, that you're out there looking, that your heart and soul has got to be into finding these people and bringing them home safely. This is not just a factory job or, you know, some ridiculous thing. It's really a very important job. And you think about it, if you had lost someone that you loved and you couldn't find them, you know, you would want the very best out there looking for your family. And so that's why it's real important that you have to be on top of your game. You have to be the best at what you do. You have to perfect all of the skills that you're being taught. That it's not just a cool thing to say, but it's something that's really important. And so it's a great honor. It's been a great privilege to be able to have done this for the last 20 years. So I just wish all of you the very best. I know you will do an awesome job. Everybody that's on our team so far has just got the best heart and the best energy, and I wish you guys all the very best, and I love you very much. So do good, kick butt.
You know I won't let you down. I won't give up on you now, no matter what's in my way. 'Cause I'm fearless, nothing that can break me. Hero of my story, I'm a warrior. 'Cause I'm fearless, nothing that can beat me. No one to defeat me. I'm a champion. 'Cause I'm fearless, fearless, fearless. 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 'Cause I'm fearless. Take my hand, I'll lead the way. Don't be scared, don't be afraid. I'll bring you home, I'll keep you safe.